Thank you for being here with us. So hi everyone again, and welcome to the American Association for Arab Women first annual Power to Truth Poetry Slam. Thank you all for coming. And extra thank you for the support we have received from the City of Malden, Public Malden Library, and MATV. And of course, we have the best, Mayor Garrett. Before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about how the title of these events came to be. We have all heard the phrase, speaking truth to power before. To speak truth to power has been one of our most effective forms of non-violent resistance throughout history. Martin Luther King did it, Nelson Mandela did it, and even the founding fathers of the United States did it. But I think that just speaking truth to power isn't enough. We need to go the other way too. We need to speak powerful truth, to inject our truth with so much power that it can't be ignored anymore. To do that, we need to prioritize the voices of the marginalized and the opposed. That's why we have gathered a group of incredibly talented men and women, especially women of color, to play some music and perform some poetry for us today. Our host today is Fayrouz Farhan, and she is an artist, a writer from Malden, and she is a poet in her own right. Please join in welcoming Fayrouz.
Hey everybody, how are you? Good. First of all, I just want to say thank you for being here. I know Malden's not really a hot spot for performances, but not yet. Not yet, right? Not yet. But I'm really grateful to be here and happy to be here and share my words with you. And hopefully you can take something from this event and it'll inspire you to share your own art or your own words or your own truth in any way. First, we're going to start with a performance from Osa. So if you can put your hands together, we'd like to welcome him to the stage. Sorry. So don't give me pronouns.
Actually, when I was in high school, I got a letter from the U.S. Army inviting Mr. Osa Mannheim to to join the Army, so that wasn't the first time. So before I read this poem, I want to give you a little backdrop to why and what prompted it. About 2004, my mother, Osa Mannheim, who is an active community member here, and she's from Sweden, and she introduced me to an organization called Women for Women International. And what was special about this organization is it is engaged in empowering women from war-torn countries to learn skills, to learn about their legal rights. And the idea is that through the women you can restore or at least help the community build up. And that women are such a core part of any society. And when some women have lost their husbands or have been raped and so forth, they're in vulnerable position, but also in a position to receive help. So during this time when I was introduced to this program, my heart was moved. And I was moved for a number of reasons. One, it was because these women who have been through so much had so much gratitude and so much strength and dignity. And it is because of that I was inspired to write this poem. And before I do that, I want to introduce you to my sister. She is Apolline Bouhendois. She is, this is my card sister, I get one every year. So this organization allows you to sponsor a woman and you can correspond with them, so you can actually build a relationship, which is so special because you feel like you're part of a sisterhood. So this young woman is 25 and she's married. She has one boy and she lives in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And some of you know, I know the spirit of this event is in part to give voice to people who, may not have a voice or have been discriminated against or have had hardship. And certainly parts of Democratic Republic of Congo has had its share of challenges. I'll just read you a brief introduction to a little bit of what's going on there, and then I will read my poem. So, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, widely known as the rape capital of the world, is one of the most dangerous places to be a woman. Decades of war and corruption in which soldiers and rebels alike consistently use sexual violence and terrorize villages and destroy communities have left women vulnerable to the attacks and living in fear. Over 71% of the population in the DRC live on less than $1.25 a day, facing extreme poverty, insecurity, frequent pillaging. Ongoing violence in the eastern provinces mean that many farmers, where most of them are women, have been unable to farm their land for many years, further compounding their poverty and food shortages. I'll leave it at that. I'm going to invite you, if you want to read more and learn about this organization, you can learn more. But with that, I will share Upon a Willing Heart. And I dedicate this to my new sister. From a willing heart who told a story, I found hope of glory. Not a pounding pompous song, but mourning with a dove who coos the aching yearning, soothes the bruises burning, holds the broken pieces with one simple melody that when many sing is harmony. I hear your strains from two eyes dark and brown, plucked from a slab of crumbling clay. Rape, murder, genocide, loss of limbs of man and child, hungry, homeless, alone. Your tune I feel and shudder by, for I am you but for a twist of fate, a lucky turn of time and place. Blessings fall and splat as war and famine feed the fed and starve the hungry, and on the other side, I am fat. Throb of pain resounds, and then, to pulsing through overtones of gentle, swaying love, a reach of hands to help and guide to better life. My despair, opaque in self-obsessing regret, fades to your voice and courage. I am you and you are me, sisters by a story, together, reaching, hoping, singing glory.
Thank you very much, Osa. That was beautiful. One more time, can we put our hands together for Osa? So our next performer is a spoken word artist. Her name is Bejana Brenville. I am happy to call her not only a classmate, but a friend. Bejana is a junior at Boston University, majoring in advertising and minoring in African American studies. She is from Western Massachusetts, and her passion lies in social activism and contributing to the Black and Haitian communities. So if we welcome Bejana to the stage.
Hi, this is actually like one of my first scheduled performances of not open mic. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna read 3 different poems. First one's called Mentality. I actually wrote this yesterday. I was going through a rough week. It was probably one of my lowest, and I know the Black community, we don't talk about mental health, and I think that's something we should always acknowledge, self-care. And so let's go. Alright. So you're not happy anymore? What's wrong? What's wrong, sis? That plays over and over in my head and always answers with the same blank expression. It's so easy to say no, but I just want to add that I don't before it. How can my own conscience say I'm not worthy when I'm supposed to be my biggest supporter, but I don't believe it? Everyone's so quick to say, take time for yourself, be in solitude. What they don't realize is my enemy is myself. It's myself that tears her skin, deliberately puts the salt on her wounds and watch it burn, watch it sting to the bone. It's my inner self that records all of her irrational fears and death in a DVR and loops it for her to watch 24 hours. It's myself that oversees her happiness for that one drop of frustration and sadness. But listen, mentality is vitality, but it's hard to be in my reality when I don't know my normality. My emotions are supposed to be suppressed. They say I'm not depressed. You just need to rest, de-stress, so you can be at your best. But listen, I'm a mess. It's a hurricane always crashing, high tide, low rising. Evil is trespassing until my spirit's collapsing. But in the end, remind myself it's not everlasting. I don't know the expiration date. My conscience and I are always in debate. When it's time, I should be medicated. Maybe now, maybe later. But that's for me to decide and not for you to question. So, are you happy today?
Yes.
For my second one, I actually wrote this as a project for one of my classes. It was in a series. It's titled America's First. So, it's going to be a little political. But it's time to go deep. So, America's First. Each president starts with a clean slate, but how much scrubbing does it take to white out the board? You look down on yourself, seeing the wooden floor through your melanin knees, transparent. Transparent is the new slate. Being invisible is the new slate. America is the new slate. Everything that once was is thrown against the glass, broken, amendable. They are building a new America. It's greedy, transactional. It's a cis white man America. The hearts of my brothers and my sisters are broken. Their dreams are snatched by a single U.S. missile. She doesn't even reach the age of 5 because the house erupts by the U.S.-made bomb. Trauma invades his eyes, loss invades his heart, death invades his ears. Tragic. All this for interest? All this for the gain of black, sinky oil. There's nothing else, I get it, so let's take it back and pay ourselves back, he says. This is the Joker that deceives even the Batman in us. This is foreign policy. So this is my last one. I'm Haitian American, and both my parents, my whole family is from Haiti. So there's a lot, especially I feel my generation, when you're a child of immigrant. Sometimes you feel like you have to choose either to be Haitian or American, like choose to like stick to one of your cultures. And I know for me, my mom was like, "You're here in America, but I don't partake in it." And like my grandparents are always like, "I don't want to go back to Haiti." Like, they don't want to raise the culture, and I feel like I'm both, because being Haitian is a huge part of me, but also being a student in America, it conflicts. So this is called Letter to My Daughter, and it's in her voice speaking to me. Take the American out of your name, you're a Haitian. Slash away the white stars and stripes from the mockery of a flag. Leave the victories of blue and red. Les Blancs don't know the word victoire, only the tree to destroy. Their flag is a picture, an image, a lack of representation. See, you're so quick to grasp the strand of patriotism, Americanism, not realizing that I stand embedded in you. You're the bon appetit that warms the stomach, and the perfect pair for piquants to spice and tingle on the tongue. Full with the grains of rice and beans. You are sweet like sugar, resistant like the cane. Haitian, you are the sugar cane. Unbreakable, but necessary, needed for white survival. We Haitians changed the nation, started a trend of revolution. Hence, we're the independent, but the first of its own kind. By slaves took the nations of sugar, mangoes, and gold. We took the soil that God has planted for us, took back the fruit of the garden, repotted our riches, dipped our feet into the reservoir, and let the rain douse on us. We took back the nation that the supremacy claimed. They planted the mistakes in our earth forever embedded, but they haven't stripped our honor. You see, there's parts of my country. Where's yours? I live my life in a free nation and watching you walk every day with stripes and invisible chains wrapped around you. You live in a nation of lies. You celebrate 4th of July, but your independence is still pending. Listen, American boast about the Constitution like a diploma on the wall, just for decor, bragging, useless and ready to fall. My culture is so rich like cocoa beans. America is so rich for extraction, extracted from countries, sucking up the oil, sweet coffee, canes, mangoes, and rice, until the blood drops on their greedy lips. So listen to me, Bejana. I don't want you to be the next Martin Luther King, because I don't want to hear any bullets ring, because I know you need to hear your freedom sing, so it doesn't be left unhinged. I want you safe, Beej, and not the safe from underneath a casket. The safe that keeps me guarded from restless nights. Announce the triple rope that grapples my organ, that reverses my grays instead of my mascara, that keeps you away from the white electric picket fence, ready to pounce on my blind, innocent arm. The safety assures me that I'll be alive to bury my parents, not my kids. So I'll say it again. Take the American out of your name, you're a Haitian.
Paige, that was beautiful. Everybody, one more time, put your hands together. I feel a lot of heavy hearts in the room, right? We're going to shift the mood a little and hear some music from Bryce and Joelle, so please welcome them to the stage. Bryce Noni is 22 years old. He was born and raised in Cameroon. He's a soul, African, jazz, and R&B singer, and also a guitarist. He's currently a finance student at UR Boston. And Joelle Chavaria is a jazz bassist, guitarist, and composer originally from Miami, Florida. He plays in a jazz band that does corporate events, parties, and weddings. So, that was their vibe.
Hello everyone, and thank you again for being here with us. This next point is about what is happening in Syria and in all other area across the world. Killing, destruction, and war. People are being slaughtered, hands are being cut off, hands have been separated from bodies, especially by criminal terrorist groups. Inspired by this cry of the pain of a boy who was wounded by an explosive device carried out by terrorist groups of ISIS in a region of Syria. Salah al-Wadi' wrote this poem. This boy was angry at the war and all that is going on around him. His sister was dead next to him. His father was all pieces in front of him. This boy cried out, suffering from the severity of the wound. I will tell God everything. بدي أحكي لله كل شيء. In Syrian dialect, سوف أخبر الله بكل شيء. Salah al-Wadi' is a Moroccan poet, human rights activist, and former political detainee under the regime of the former king of Morocco. Al-Wadi' did not choose to talk about this boy as a journalist or an essayist. Instead, he organized and structures a poem titled, I Will Tell God Everything. In the poem, he looked forward to a world without war, without destructions. I have the privilege to invite you all at this moment to enjoy this piece of poetry by Mr. Salah al-Wadi. Please sit down, relax, and listen.
سوف أخبر الله بكل شيء. آخر ما قاله صبي سوري قبل أن يسلم الروح. صغيري، بني أو حفيدي، صدفة وراء شاشتي على الفيسبوك رأيت شفتيك ترجفان ووجهك المنهوك، تستريح بين رجفتين وتستفيق بين شهقتين، وتكتب انهيارنا بقطرة من دمك المسفوك، تقول ساهما سأخبر الإله كل شيء، سأخبر الإله كل شيء. أخبره يا بني، أخبره أن العالم اختفى، وأن كل خلقه معلق على جدار، وكلما ترنمت شحرورة ذبحها التتار. أخبره أن كل خلقه على الصليب، وأن كل أفقه دمار. أخبره أن أذرع الهمج تذبح باسمه من الوريد للوريد، وقل له بأن النار نفسها جريحة تئن من مشانق التتار. أخبره، قل أخبره أن أفقه انتهى في عرفهم وعلمهم، وخلقه انقرض، وأن الله لم يعد لديهم سوى فزاعة على قماشة سوداء بأردأ الخطوط كتبت وأحرف الدمار. أخبره يا بني، وقل له بصوتك الممهور بالبهاء، قل الأشياء. أخبره بالذي جرى، لا ترتعش. خذ حفنة من التراب، خذ حفنة مبتلة من جدول الدماء، وخذ من الرؤوس والجماجم، خذ ما تشاء، ومن أصابع الهلع، ومن أياد قطعت لتوها، ومن عيون جحظت لبارق السيوف، ومن غنائم اللصوص. خذ أي شيء، خذ معطفا ممزقا به جثمان عمك المتروك في العراء أو أمك القعيدة أو كف أختك الشهيدة أو فرجها المفتوح للذئاب. خذ حفنة من التراب مبلل بدم حيضها أو من دم اغتصابها سيان أو نطفة من مني التتر الجبان. خذ بنت الجيران وقد تجمع الأنذال حولها ليرجموا جمالها البهي وقلبها النقي. خذ كل هذه الشواهد، خذ كل هذه الحجج واصرخ بكل العنفوان يا ربنا العلي. لم أعد أنا أصبحت يا إلهي أي شيء. لمن أبت صرختي وما الذي اقترفته أنا لكي أخبره أن روما انتفخت بزهوها، تزوجت جحافل المغول وأسسوا مملكة العماء، وأن كل ما أرسلت من رسل وأنبياء قد تم بيعهم في السبي والرقيق. إذا رفعت رأسا للسماء تساقطت نجومها كما تساقط الأشلاء. أخبره يا بني، قل له عبادك الأوباش مجرمون وما أنا إلا صبي في العراء. تكلم يا بني، تكلم إنه يراك. أخبره يا بني بالسافلين الصائحين الجبناء. أخبره أن العالم اختفى ولم نعد نراه، ولم تعد عيوننا ترى، كما لو أننا تواعدنا على العماء. أخبره يا بني بكل من يجتر اسمه الجليل لكي يقنعنا بأنه على طهارة، وأننا نجس، وأنه على صراط مستقيم، وأننا إلا وراءه لن ندخل النعيم، مكبلين صاغرين على رؤوسنا فزاعة الجحيم. قل بصوتنا يا أيها الصبي، قل بصوت كل الكون أيها النبي، قل ها أنا أراهم قادمين من جديد، أراهم يا إلهي قادمين من قديم، قادمين من بعيد. يا إلهي ما أرى. رأيت رئيس القدس الجريح في مزابل الدخان تطأها نعالهم كخرقة الأكفان. رأيت ما أرى، رأيت ما ترى، تطاول العراة والحفاة في البنيان، تشقق القمر حتى الجماد انفكت منه عقدة اللسان. رأيتهم يمزقون كل شيء ويحرقون كل شيء، يهللون نحن أمة قد أخرجت لكم من النسيان، كل ساعة قيامة وكل ساعة هوان. قل بصوتنا يا أيها الصبي، قل بصوت كل الكون أيها النبي، بكل ما في جسمك المنهوك من جراح. هو الذي قل هو الذي قد أبدع الوجود، وأننا إليه عاجلا أو آجلا نعود. لا نقبل الكهنة بيننا، وأننا أسياد أمرنا ليوم يبعثون. قل له عبادك المهربون أولئك الملثمون بالحديث والسياق تنكروا ودبروا انقلابهم بليل. وقل له بأنهم يخططون لاغتياله وذبح الأنبياء ليستحلوا كل يوم دمنا ويخرجوا لكل يوم كربلاء. قل بصوتنا يا أيها الصبي، قل بصوتنا يا أيها النبي، من حبة التراب في المجاهل البعيدة إلى ارتعاش الحرف في مجرة الأبد، نريد يا إله عالما، نريد يا إله عالما لكل العالمين، من كل جنس أو بلد، من كل لون أو عقيدة، اليوم أو غدا، اليوم أو غدا، اليوم أو غدا أو بعد غد.
By the way, the boy, who was all over the news about a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, it was all over the news. The boy died just like a few minutes after he said that word. So that's why it's inspired by that. Next, we have next is Feroz Farhan.
is a daughter, a sister, and an artist, and a writer. While completing her bachelor degree at BU, she started actively performing on campus and continues to share her work in hopes that her words can inspire others to manifest their truth, whatever way they choose. Please, put your hand together for Farah.
So just a little bit about my work, myself. So a lot of my inspiration for my poetry comes from a lot of what we heard about in that video, in that last video. No matter what religion you are, no matter where you come from, I think that, like, aside from whatever God you believe in or lack of one, we all are dealt a hand, and I truly believe that we are not dealt something that we cannot handle. Whatever we are dealt with, that we are dealt, we can handle. But it's hard because it's almost like, so you have a privilege, but it's almost like an undeserved privilege. You don't understand your placement in society, your coordinates of this universe. You question yourself and you question the world and your purpose. And I think the worst question you can ask yourself is why, but it's an inevitable question. It's a question that we all ask ourselves. So my inspiration comes from watching my mom and my family. We all watch our families and ourselves go through, whatever we're dealt with in life. And so that's my release. That's how I deal with it. And if I seem a little nervous, it's because I am. It's personal, so when you share something like that, it hits. No matter how many performances I do, I always get so nervous. But, okay, so this first piece is called Holy Water. It's funny how things work, falling into place like it was meant to work. I mean, meant to be. You were meant to see this way to the land of free, take the lead. It's the law of attraction, speaking things into existence. It's not fabrication, how our marks stick like traction, predeceasing the predecessor. Yeah, I know it's confusing, I don't got the answers, but I can see you getting antsy. Give it time, nothing fancy. No strange ability, just what he gave me. Now I'm asking you, what do you see? 'Cause if you ask me, I tell you I see a whole lot of people who can't really see. A calamity, blind leading blind, where are you trying to be? Up ahead or making two blind men three? Cut the bullshit and grab that Dasani. It's okay to skip the Henny, just make sure you pour some out for the homies. They say there's unity in the Trinity, the state of being three, the state of being free, a trilogy. Do you see the toxicity? A granted eternity, but the grandly is so holy. Baloney thinking they know me, this body's unholy. But that's none of my business though, I'll just keep sipping my tea. I know where I am, where you trying to be. Up ahead and making two blind men three. That's a fault to your own fall. Piece of advice, don't crawl when you got two legs to stand tall. And if you fall, get the fuck back up, 'cause there ain't nothing wrong with using the wall. And if you gotta think twice, well then it probably ain't nice. Sometimes the truth hurts, sometimes it causes fights. But I'm not one to play nice, so if you're looking for that, go ahead and think twice. Matter of fact, go ahead and call it a night. Grab yourself a blanket, mine squeezed off like a tourniquet. Sitting tight, ain't gonna fight the fight. Ain't gonna fly the kite, so I'm gonna ask you one more time. Do you see the light? 'Cause this white night ain't here to stay when you're sleeping away the day. Matter of fact, looks like you've been sleeping the whole way. And this shit is temporary. We ain't here to stay. This body's unholy, made from clay. But keep looking the wrong way. Keep eating off your silver tray. Keep playing until you get yourself played. Thank you. So this next one, I haven't titled it yet, but it's more recent. I don't have it quite memorized yet, so I'm just going to be referencing my phone a little bit. I woke up in paradise. I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought I died and went to heaven. Been flying high since 97. Daddy gone was only 7, living life like we was felons. Dreaming of the highest heavens, but earn your place, Mama said. Say your grace and break your bread. 'Cause it's a mad world, a bad world, a sad world, but it's a good life. Won't you realize it's the good life? Imagine a world where egos tower over people, only genial to those who feed you, king of the sheeple. Who is your shepherd and to whom do you pray? The ego is lethal, a lesson you deem feeble as you sit atop your steeple. Black sheep amongst sheeple, pray for the people. Wake up so you can see the light. Mama always told me she could see the world in my eyes. Mama never told a lie. Work honestly for those who steal was a sentence harsher than reality. No need for dollar signs to make you rich. It's what's in your mind, just give it time. Your heart is a gold mine. Don't let the undeserving take what's mine, 'cause you're my baby and I want to see you shine. Fuck that ride or die. Life's too short to live a lie. Never indulge yourself in fake friends. Be true to yourself and you'll find it's easier to make amends. Heaven on earth, and I promise all you got is time. And when you can't feel the tide, close your eyes, click your heels and count to 5, 'cause this is heaven on earth and we're in paradise. A mad world, a bad world, a sad world, but it's a good life. Won't you realize it's the good life and we're in paradise? Thank you. Is called Chapter X. They said, don't turn it into a trend. I said, bet, but see, you don't see how she bends. No, you don't see that. This ain't no tragedy and it definitely ain't a trend, but no, you don't see that. You don't see how she bends. She don't even got time for a boyfriend. See, Mama left her mama, came running from Morocco. Never got caught though, knock on wood. That's a fact. De facto, stayed behind to get ahead, raise a family while this country took away her sanity. They stole my family. Why am I surprised? Not like we family. But that's okay, we're still standing here today. Shopping at the depot for the Lolo. Where's the Dolo? Can't be late to work, that's a no-no. But kids gotta get fed, so she get up out of bed. Tired eyes from living these lies, no matter how hard she tries to sleep at night. So she gets up out of bed. She gets up to make the bread, kisses us on our heads while we're sleeping in our bed. My heart skips every time I see the feds. Call 911 for help, but it's a dead end. You already know how the rest of this story goes. 2011, all of a sudden we foes. Now it's 2017 and we listening to Cheetos and tuxedos. None of this shit makes any sense. Started swimming before I could count 10 toes. Mama taught us jump right in, never hold your nose. Mama taught us you ain't no fool. Mama's been working hard putting us through the best schools. I'm sorry I've been acting a fool. I'm sorry, Mama, but this rhyming thing is my tool. I use it to soothe when I lose all control. 'Cause none of this shit makes any sense. Which is funny, cause we out here making sense just to make some sense of the system behind the white picket fence, and when tragedy does turn into a trend, nobody's here to lend you a helping hand. They got you doing backbends, asking you for strength to tie up their loose ends while they're back home counting their Benjamins. Why you need them the most is when you can't see the end. But we were made for more. Yeah, we were made to ascend. We were made to commend. Mama, you were God sent. Don't forget that. You were never a trend, and this tragedy's coming to an end, with or without the loose ends. Yeah, I think I said enough for now. I think you can hear me now. Yeah, I think you got it all down, yeah. I think you can hear me now. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm just gonna bring Bryce and Joel back up to the stage to listen to some music while we, interlude between the next poet.
This is live, right?
That was just what I needed. It was beautiful. So firstly, I see we have Mayor Christensen in the room. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. One more hand of a round of applause for Bryce as well. So we have Lisa Chanel. Am I saying that right? Yes. She is a spoken word artist from Boston who aims to inspire personal growth with her words. So without further ado, please welcome Lisa to the stage.
Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Chanel, as she said. I have 4 pieces for you guys today. A mix of just inspiring pieces and also experiences that I've gone through. I was really excited when I heard the theme of this event because I feel like it's just been, I've been waiting for a platform to speak on certain things. So this piece, I wrote it a while back, but I thought it was really fitting considering the theme. It's called License to Speak. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. I have my phone here as well, just in case for support. Give me my poetic license to speak my mind, to speak my truth. I am a spoken word artist that tries to stay out of the lines of angry rants and loving cliches. Yes, I share anger in my poems. Yes, I share pain in my poems. But I also share hope. I share growth. I share the evolution of my mind as I go through my struggles, but maybe it's not enough to share how I push through my pain so that others can hopefully be inspired by my conquest for peace. Would it be better if I made poems that sound intelligent, sound insightful, and sound consciously aware, but have no connection to me? No connection to me means no connection to you. Therefore, I am requesting my poetic license because I'm about to color in and out of the lines of an angry rant, apology letter, declaration, and emancipation. I am sorry that I am not a poet with the voice of Beyonce, the mind of Einstein, the soul of Gandhi, or the spirit of Jesus. Those are not my truths, yet I still sing. I still thirst for knowledge. I still dig for deeper morals, and I am still looking for God. I do not step on a stage to blow your mind with wordplay like Kendrick Lamar. I do not step on a stage to reveal some false emotional attachment to your ex-group thing like Drake. I wish I could, but I don't. What I really wish for is to help my audience find their self-empowerment, like the words of Maya Angelou, or what I really wish for is to help my audience find their self-empowerment like the words of Maya Angelou, or change the hearts of a nation to see the light of truth like Martin Luther King Jr. I wish I was that type of artist, but today, those are not my truths yet. Here are my truths. I am a poet. I am a spoken word artist, and with that, I am an artist that feels. I live in emotion, but I act on logic, and I like to talk about these feelings so that they don't explode inside my chest, whether I'm talking about the relationship with my Father, the one up in heaven, or the one even farther, or the sensations in my body, the ones you give me when you call me to stop speaking. I won't trade who I am just to please your insecurities. My words have value, and I refuse to accept the audacity of anyone who tries to tell me otherwise. So if my words, if my feelings, if my insatiable need for emotional healing through poetry offends your standards of what it means to be a poet, maybe you need to reevaluate what your truths are, because the truth is my truth needs no poetic license to speak. Thank you. I'm going to sit for this next one. This one's a little bit heavy, so I just This piece is called Male Gaze, and what inspired it was about a few weeks ago at the events where Kingsley Jenkins, her unsolved death, even though a lot of people kind of already knew what happened to her. So that inspired me to write this. Under the male gaze, we must watch what we say and don't say. Watch what we wear. Watch who our friends are. Forever being watched and never listened to. She wanted to, but not right now. Not that way, not that time. But in his mind, her heart eyes meant it must be okay. We are taught to be ethereal creatures that must fight for equality, but not too loud, but not too quiet, but not too independent, but not too needy, but not too sexy, but not too holy. She had to go, but his needs were stronger than her. No, she was embarrassed to cry, and she didn't want to hurt his feelings, so she held her breath and stared blankly at the ceiling. We are expected to respect the male voice, the male eye, the male needs, while fighting for the privilege of that same respect reciprocated. She froze and stayed quiet. He thought she was swooning in her silence. She froze, she froze, she froze. And now he said it was her time to go. We are taught to submit to male authority, never establishing to men the difference between a woman respecting male leadership and not male entitlement. Under the male gaze, she died with no support. She broke every part of herself that felt weak in order to survive. So she built herself back. She took herself back. She loved herself back. She forgave herself back. And now, she lives again. Thank you. So the next ones are pretty light, and this next piece is called Ask, Seek, and Knock. It's inspired by a verse in the Bible that says just that, to ask and seek and knock. But I think it can be applied to to everyone, whether you're spiritual or not. Ask. Keep asking and it will be given to you. Like your inner phoenix has risen for you. From ashes to passion on fire, there's so much more living to do. It's true. Closed mouths don't get fed, and I'm fed up from the fear in my head, but I refuse to be helpless even if I have to ask. Just ask. Now seek. Keep seeking and you will find the way. Jesus found glorious because he left his home behind, and I've been too blind to see all the reasons to be free while trying to escape my inner demons in me. So I'll abandon my comfort and risk it all for the hopes of finding what I need to resist the fall, and I'm all for it until I'm weak. And in that moment where it hurts to fight for yourself and the pain is at its peak, peace is the ultimate thing I seek. Now knock. Keep knocking and the door will be open for you. With the strength of Samson, have faith like no man can do, and plan to break down the walls you hold yourself back with, and actually try even if the work breaks your back. And the fact is, God won't meet you halfway until you make the effort to. And it's better to trust he's got you even when you don't understand, like when you knock and knock and knock and the door won't open. Know that God still has a plan. Now look at these 11 blessings from these 9 prayers. May your life be restored. I speak that in the air. Thank you. So this final piece is one of my favorites, and I feel like everyone can take something away from it. There's a few months left in the year, so hopefully this piece will inspire any projects or anything that you had in your mind that you wanted to do or accomplish before the year ends. I hope that this helps you guys finish. It's called Think Big, Dream Big. They say a good deed never goes unpunished. Well, a good dream never goes untarnished. Thoughts evolving to ideas waiting to be published, to be recognized by ourselves. a bestseller in our own minds without having to rely on sold-out shelves, our dream, this risk, becomes our responsibility. And our faith is supposed to be a guaranteed security despite the obstacles we face that question our maturity. The obscurity of whether or not our dreams will make it will clear once we tell our hearts that we can take it, because the world will attack us and do everything to distract us. In fact, this global hemisphere will approach you so sincere, only to whisper in your ear, you don't belong here. If you believe you don't belong, then you honestly don't. The world will find someone who will accomplish all the things you want. And when you lie in bed, thinking of excuses, like how you were left with some financial bruises, held to a stereotype you felt was mentally abusive, no support from home, so your own strength is inconclusive. The life you live, you say to yourself, I didn't choose this, but hold your breath and feel your heart. Understand you need to use it. And when you feel like you can't hold it any longer, when you feel like you're going to explode, recognize your life. It's all you have left to show. We weren't meant to become numb and capitalize our souls for the worthless things the world has to offer. We weren't meant to live in the shadows of our fears. Rather than our hearts, our bravery becomes softer. The way I see it, your name isn't written on a tomb yet, and if it was, dream it be a monument. Faith cannot be broken by disappointment. The hardest decision, made with the utmost precision, denied of any external help, is to believe in yourself. Thank you. Those are my pieces for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure performing for you guys, and good luck to the next performer.
One more round of applause for Lisa, please. So our next performer is a woman named Sarah Ting. Sarah has been a diversity educator and trainer for more than 25 years. She is also an author and the founder and president of World Unity Incorporation. World Unity promotes equality, diversity, and inclusion by raising self-awareness through the Sun poem and empowers individuals through the arts, education, and innovative ideas. So please welcome Sarah to the stage.
We're lost. So, good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing? Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be with you. And I really enjoyed hearing all these wonderful, diverse voices. And thank the musicians. And I have to say, Mayor, I have always appreciated your presence. Even though I'm not a resident of Malden, I appreciate leaders like you who really value the diverse cultures. I remember one time you showed up, I think, in Asian garb.
Garb, good fortune.
Yes. So, the Sun poem actually has been the inspiration for my life for the last, since 1978. It's only 4 lines. It has driven my life and probably has inspired other poems. Are you greater than the sun that shines on everyone? Black, brown, yellow, red, and white. The sun does not discriminate. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that poem I have been working with for the last 30+ years. It has inspired the vision to build a landmark. It has inspired a song that was performed by children at the United Nations and a campaign called Singing Equality Across America. And it has inspired a dance that will be performed for the first time on October the 28th. So we will have singing and dancing equality across America. I'm just going to share a couple of poems, a few poems with you, and actually one of them I kind of shared with Suad after I talked to her over the phone, and another I kind of wrote this morning, so it might be on the rock. So the one that it was inspired with by Suad, where did it go? Did I lose my poem? No, here it is. It's called No One is Free. And this one, part of it also is because of what's going on in our country and in the world with all this divisions we have. No person is born into the world with prejudices, biases, or hate. It's all learned. We learn it from our family, peers, school, community, social media, tweets, news outlets, the environment, and the nation we grow up in. We don't need degrees to unlearn it. We don't need labels to shame or condemn us. We need to listen to each other with compassion. We need to be more self-aware. Like Socrates said, the highest knowledge, know thyself. We need to discover the world that's inside of each of us that may be wounded from biases, angry from the discrimination, and fearful of differences. We need to heal this world. Fill it with seeds of forgiveness and seeds of hope. Connect with our humanity and let go of the past. Be fully present, knowing that the air ties us all together, and it gives us the power to speak, to say words that can heal, enlighten, inspire, and be heard around the world. Words that can either build a bridge of understanding or create a valley that will separate us. The sun has shined and is shining on this person's life and mine. The sun embraces all of us. This other one also has come out of the division that I see coming out of this country that saddens me to no end, because this is a wonderful country. This is, I believe, still the country that will be the light in the world. I am a first-generation Chinese born in this country. My father was a diplomat at the time. I know what it feels like to be the only one. My sister and I, we grew up in a community. We're out of 600 children. My sister and I were it for Asian faces. I know what it feels like to be the only one. So this one, I titled it, Who Are We First? Who are we first? Are we first a color, a gender, a sexual orientation, a class, a religion, a human being, an ethnicity, or nationality? Who are we first? I asked a woman this question over the phone as we were having a very engaged conversation about education, diversity, and inclusion. Her sincere answer: I am a woman first. I stopped being a person. I was surprised by her answer and wanted to make sure I heard. So I repeated her response. You said, I'm a woman first, and I stopped being a person? She said yes. She unfortunately had to leave the conversation because she had folks standing in front of her. If I had an opportunity to continue the conversation, I would have asked her the following questions. As a woman, do you have feelings? I think she would have said yes. The second question would have been, and as a woman, do you have aspirations and dreams? I think she would have said yes. Then I would have said, I don't think you stopped being a person. I think you forgot you're a person. And that conversation really did take place. I did not make it up. You know, what I was realizing as I was hearing all the other wonderful poets is that I've been having conversations with people and they actually have been poems. And so thank you, the young people, because I think I have some more poems to write about today.
Inspiration.
Inspiration. And one of them came from a very, I'm gonna share this with you, because especially if anybody has to go to any hospital or has any health issue to deal with, I'm going to share this with you because we all need to be empowered. We all need to know how to advocate for ourselves. So I'm going to share a little personal information. Some people know it. I am a cancer survivor. So in September, I woke up in the morning, and so I had a major surgery last year. So in September, the 16th, I can remember this because the next day was a dear friend's wedding. So when I woke up in the morning, no, it was, I'm sorry, the 15th. When I woke up in the morning, I felt horrible. I was dizzy, dizzy, dizzy. And I started throwing up for an hour and a half. I had no idea what this was. I thought maybe it was connected to my cancer. So with all the energy that I had, I called 911. I literally had to crawl down my stairs and call, because I said, if they're going to come, I don't want them to break my door. I want them, I'll open the door for them. Meanwhile, I called my sister, thinking, well, maybe she could help me and take me to the hospital. 911, the EMT arrived. I am on the floor. I open the door. They come in and they say this, get up. Get up. I said, I can't. Yes, you can. I can't. I have no idea what is going on in their head. All I know is I feel like I'm dying. They throw me onto the stretcher. And with every breath I have, I say, can you take me to this hospital? They say, oh, now she can talk. Needless to say, I did recover, thank God. Needless to say, I called up to give them feedback. I spoke to the gentleman. He said, we'll get back to you. Didn't get back to me. Called them up again. Oh, he's on vacation, the person you spoke to. Oh, I said, okay, I'll call back. Next time I call back, the third time, by this time I've gotten the bill. I said, you know, I'm happy to pay a portion of this bill. I'm not going to pay this whole bill, not based on the way I was treated. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what they said to me? You don't have to pay them anything. Thank God somebody was listening. I share this with you because, ladies and gentlemen, this is about speaking your truth. In a respectful way. I didn't do any name calling. I made no judgment. All I said was maybe they need a vacation or a little bit more training. So I shared because poetry is also about speaking your truth. And poetry can empower and inspire, as these poets have said. Inspire, enlighten, and uplift. So I shared this story with you because I know that we have challenges in the healthcare system. And we have to find ways to help each other and to help the healthcare system get better. So that's why I share that one with you. So this next one, it's kind of funny because this one, I wrote this over 30 years, it wrote in 1983, and yet I think it is so relevant now more than ever. So I think it shows the timelessness of it and the universality of it. It's called Love. I have searched for love in a man's eyes, in my job, my family, in my friends, in every face I see, in every act of justice. I search for love, only to discover that love is not to be found, it is to be given. And how like heaven this world would be if we gave instead of took, if we listened instead of spoke, if we received instead of rejected. We would then trust instead of doubt. We would forgive instead of resent, and know love. And when there is love in a person's heart, there are no doubts, no fears, no hatred. And when there is love in a community, there is no racism, no hunger, no poverty. When there is a love in a country, there is no threat to peace. There is only a will to dream and to create. How relevant is this to our time right now, ladies and gentlemen? So, this one is called Listen. Listen not with your eyes, not with your mind, not with your past, but with your heart. I guess the last poem I'll share with you, two last poems. Maybe this is Just Me. No one can tell me who I am except me. No one can tell me what to do except me. And no one can tell me what to feel, when to cry, when to laugh, who to hate, and who to love. But God Almighty, I know there's more to life than just me. You know what? This one, I hope you'll appreciate this one. It's called Your Life. One man said he'd like to be Gandhi and serve people. Another man said he'd like to be a judge and serve justice. And another man said he'd like to be a coal miner, no fame or glory. And then there was just the man who wanted to be himself. At the end of the circle, we came back to the beginning. Each man, once again, looking through the bars of Norfolk Prison. And that came from an experience. I was with these prisoners doing a writing session, writing poetry and having just a dialogue with them. I guess the last one I'll share with you is only three lines, but to me it's about all of us empowering ourselves and all of us realizing that as long as we can breathe, we can dream, and we can think, and we can imagine, there is nothing that can stop any one of us from pursuing our dreams and aspirations. So this poem says, as long as the air is free, I will choose my destiny. Thank you so much for having me. I don't know, Surab, Murad said if people wanted to have a dialogue, so I don't know if you would like to conduct a dialogue.
We will, we need enough. We're going to open it up. Yeah, we will do it after Bryce.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah. We're going to open it up first. Okay, hold on.
We have time to open up the floor? Well, yeah? Yeah? Yeah, okay. If anybody in the audience has something that they want to share, if you were inspired or you thought of something real quick, maybe you jotted something down, or I urge you to use this time and this free, welcoming, safe space to share your words. Any takers? No? Okay. Well, something that Sarah said reminded me of something that I wrote a long time ago. I've performed this piece a few times. It's one of my favorite ones. It's about the quote that you were saying from Socrates about know thyself. It's actually called Note to Self. So if you just give me a little bit more of your time, I want to share this with you, and then we'll let Bryce and Joelle play us out. Note to self. Dear me. Dear self, know thyself. Do you hear me? Inside of me, I got 2 realities, maybe even 3. Dear me, I sincerely need you to hear me. Fuck reality. No such thing when you barely even sleep, an anomaly, counting sheep like 1, 2, 3. Dear self, note to self, come clean. My mirrored reflection reflects my self-reflection. I am flexing, just self-reflecting on my sentence. We're all looking for repentance. Got all of this resentment towards myself, I hold this vengeance, but I know we got a greater essence. Some may say quintessence of the 5th dimension, I don't know. I'm just flexing on my sentence. Let my bars serve as my cleanses. Gotta rid this evil essence, feeling like I need an intervention. Got no recollection. Got no recollection of what happened. I'm just trying to learn my lesson. Quit sweating, quit suppressing this aggression. I know you got a lot of questions, so sit back, grab a pen, write it down, everything I'm professing, because it's time you learn your lesson. No, professor, not my profession, but I know there ain't no point in ranking all these questions, and I know it got you stressing, and it always leaves you guessing, so before you come clean, before you start playing 20 questions, hold up, let me finish my sentence. We're on the road to eternal damnation, tormented by dependence, by this evil presence. It's anomalous, a dynamic digression. This depression, this aggression can be soothed by harmonic progression. Dear me, I got 2 realities, maybe even 3. Parallel is our fragility when the naked eye can't even really see. But fuck reality, because there's no such thing when you barely even sleep, counting sheep like 1, 2, 3. Note to self, dear me, do you hear me? Maintaining tranquility is your #1 necessity. Dear me, I sincerely need you to hear me. Please don't fear me. Stretch your arms, feel the trees as they breathe herbal essence. No, I'm not talking what you cleanse with, I'm talking urban legends. Counting down the time between the seconds till we merge dimensions. Bright lights like bright is fluorescent. The quintessence of this confession is your self-preservation. Assess the lesson in everything you're seeing, everything you're feeling. Because sometimes seeing is believing, and sometimes it's deceiving. And when you start digressing, when you sink back down into that depression, express it, confess it, because there's no such thing as discretion when it comes to self-expression. Stay alert, pay attention to the anomalies that you see, because fuck reality, a true anomaly when you barely even sleep. Counting sheep like 1, 2, 3. Dear me, do you hear me? Note to self, know thyself. What? Oh, it fell away. Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me perform that one piece. I just thought it was really important to share because I was inspired by Sarah's words. Now we'll just have Bryce and Joelle play us out, so round of applause for them to bring it to the stage.
Okay guys, this song is really dancing, it's like, yes.
The solo is my friend George. He gonna play solo all the songs solo, and then we can just dancing. It's really good. It's like Spanish music. We just mix Spanish music and R&B music. So I hope you're gonna enjoy it.
Thank you.
One more big round of applause. It's not on perfect. So thank you everybody for coming. I just want to thank Tata Sugat and Eagle Band. Yeah, so thank you for coming. I'm like at a loss of words because everybody was so good and like my heart is so heavy right now. But
Press very good.
you all were so amazing.
Very
And
good. Make another one.
Thank you. And hot chocolate. Coffee. Lots of stuff. Whatever. Thanks, man.
Thanks, everyone. Here's your glass. You like? You like it?